If you've been fired, it can leave you questioning your worth, your path, your future. I know I've been there. Learn from my experience so you can have an easier time. I'm Laura Sims. I help people choose and start the right meaningful career, even if they've been trying to figure it out for years. In this video, you'll learn the upsides of being fired and some things you won't want to repeat again. So yes, I was fired. Not let go with the rest of my department, not last one in, first one out, not some big industry-wide layoff, as in, it's you, it's personal, we want you, this individual, out of here. For some background, I worked in my 20s and early 30s as an actor, and between acting jobs and day jobs, I worked almost exclusively contract work or, really short-term W-2 stuff. The longest I ever worked anywhere was 9 months, and that was 2 contracts back to back. When I was an actor, it was a lot of short stints, a summer at a theater here, a day on a network television show here, a voiceover gig here, just a smattering of things all over the place. And then as a day job, I would wait tables, I would do temp work, I'd be a cater waiter, maybe I'd pick up a semester of teaching here and there, that kind of thing. So when I was 29, 30, I was hired as the educational director for a company that taught acting classes to kids. Now, in preparation for this video, I Googled the company just to see what was out there, and the only thing that comes up is multiple complaints filed with the ripoff report. Back when I was hired, they had just changed their business name. And then when Googling them after I was fired, pro tip, Google them before you're hired, they had many complaints filed with the Better Business Bureau, and I suspect they had changed their name to try to get away from that reputation. It seems it didn't work. All of this will be relevant to the story. I'm hired as this educational director. I'm really excited. When I was in graduate school, taught undergraduate acting classes. I was going to be working to design the course catalog for this company. I was going to be writing course descriptions. I was going to be hiring acting teachers. This was so much better than waiting tables. It actually used my skills and my strengths, and I was really excited to do this work. Okay, so I'm brought in as a contractor, and now it's time. I got to create some new classes. I got to hire some teachers. So I'm looking at the classes that they've been offering already, and there's a lot of different directions that we could take here. Are they preparing kids to book television roles? Are they helping them get better at improv? Are they using theater to build confidence in general in their lives? Is this about on-camera technique? Is this for the stage? It would really help me create classes and hire teachers if I knew the intent and goals of the organization. What is the promise we're making to the kids and families that we sign up here? Do we have a mission statement that I could use as a starting point? This did not go over well. We had several conversations wherein I said, can we have some kind of guiding statement for the organization? Just a paragraph about who we are, who we help, what we help our clients achieve. They refused and fired me for being too aristocratic. That is when I did my Googling and found out all these Better Business Bureau reports of parents accusing the company of being a scam. Because it turns out they did have an unofficial mission statement, which was, let's sell you, family, vulnerable family perhaps, a big dream for your kid to work in Hollywood someday. Let's get your money, let's run some classes, and then not ever be able to deliver on all these casting promises that we've made. That was the business model. That was the plan all along. What did I learn from this experience of being fired, and how can it help you? I learned, number one, being fired hurts. Even when I thought the decision was unjust, even when I disagreed with the reasoning, it hurt. It's rejection. And I felt sad and I felt hurt. And I think I didn't allow myself to feel those feelings enough. I just tried to fast forward to anger and blame. And sure enough, there was stuff to be angry about, but it almost felt easier to get into blaming and to get into anger than to really let myself grieve the loss of what had been the potential of this opportunity and what it could have meant for me. So I really wish I had let myself feel the sadness and feel the hurt a little more deeply and a little more honestly. Number two, it not only hurts, it haunts. You're too aristocratic. That phrase stuck in my brain for years. And Thankfully, I didn't internalize it. I didn't take that on as truth. I didn't really bring that baggage into other, roles and jobs that I applied for. But just that little phrase, it haunted me. Just knowing that that's a thing and that these little things sting and they stick, even if you don't internalize them. I think it's just helpful to have that as a frame of reference. Number 3, sometimes you need the push. This place did not want my best. They did not want my integrity. They wanted my compliance and my silence. My values, my worldview was disruptive to their agenda. And sometimes when your values disrupt the agenda, you just have to part ways. But I either wasn't brave enough or wise enough to call it quits and initiate that. I had to be pushed out. Honestly, I'm grateful that I was. That was not a place that I needed to be. But that's also a theme that I hear from clients who have been fired or let go. Thank goodness they did it, because I wouldn't have. Number 4, being fired doesn't necessarily mean that you've done anything wrong, even if it's personal. When I look back now on being fired, I would not change the behavior that got me fired. I would not have done anything around that differently. In fact, having those standards are what have served me in nearly every other place that I've worked. Number 5, I learned to trust the red flags, because they were definitely there in the interview process, but I was so excited about the fantasy of this role, about the potential of this role, that I ignored what was actually happening, what was actually being communicated, and how I was actually being treated. And I've learned that even if in the moment I can't perfectly articulate and, defend my dissertation about what's wrong, if my body knows that something is off, I trust that before I can line up all the reasoning and defend the knowing. The body knowing is enough. If you've been fired as well, my advice would be, 1, to really let yourself feel all the feelings. They will pass, but better to feel them now and get them over with. Number 2, use hindsight to figure out what happened here. How did I get in this situation? What went sideways, so you don't repeat this again? Number 3, use the push as a turning point for your own good. Now you have the opportunity to get it right. And if you're not sure what right looks like for you, what is the role, what is the environment, what is the industry, that I can help with. So check out my free training. You'll learn the exact strategy that's working for my clients to help them break old patterns and actually find careers they love. I will see you in the free training. Guarantee you're going to learn something new about how to choose the meaningful work that's right for you.